Hi, I'm going to make one of my mother's favorite dishes right now for you. This is a mineja, or better known as minestrone. This is going to be a very simple dish. We're going to brown some pancetta, then we're going to add the potatoes and fava beans, and add some stock, and that's the dish. We're also going to throw in a little bit of dandelion greens. So let's get started. I am going to turn my pan on and grab the pancetta. All right, so we have our pan on high and we're just going to throw the pancetta in this. Pancetta is kind of a cured meat, Italian meat, and you always tend to have it in cubes. It comes in kind of a rolled up configuration, but you always tend to cube it. And we're just going to put it into the pan here. There we go. And just let it brown. And you just want to stir these around a bit. The grease from these will oil the pan for you. This is a very fatty, it's like a bacon really. Just a much richer seasoned bacon. And as I move these and touch them with my spoon, they're very soft. What we're looking for is them to start hardening a little bit. Vegetables soften in the pan, meat hardens. So I'm just going to let that brown a bit, stirring it to make sure it doesn't burn here. Hear it start to sizzle here. So it's a very salty, spicy meat pancetta. The salt is what helps cure it. And all I'm really waiting for here is it to get a little crisper, but I'm also waiting to smell the smell of the meat. Hit the air. All right, so the smell is starting to hit the air, so this is ready. Listen to that for a second. Pretty solid hiss. But now you kind of hear it starting to talk. So now I'm going to turn it down really low. And grab my stock. This is a frozen stock that we've made. This is a chicken stock. If you had a pork stock, you could use a pork stock as well. And I turned the heat down low because I don't want the liquid as it hits that fat to spark up. All right, so here we have our frozen stock in the pan. And we're just going to let that melt down a bit here. And we're going to add our fava beans. But I thought I'd show you really quickly how to peel a fava bean. I've shelled a bunch of them. These are a long pod, and they're really lumpy because they have a giant bean inside of them. It's been confused occasionally with a kidney bean or a lima bean. They're flat, and they're about the size of a quarter. And so I pulled two, and I just crack the pod with my fingers and just peel these out. And we got 3 beans out of the first one there. I'll do one more for you. We just literally crack it in half and take our finger and go along one edge and peel back from the beans. And I did about, I'd say probably about 60 or 70 of these earlier, which is why I didn't think you'd want to see me peel them all. And this is giving our stock a chance to melt in there. Bean and bean. These are very fresh fava beans. I want to show you. If you don't have fresh ones or you have older ones, you want to just take the outer shell off of these, and you just break it with your nail and peel back the outer shell. And the reason you want to do that for older ones is they're very tough and very hard. But these ones are very fresh, so I'm just going to throw that peel in. All right, so let's put the rest of these fava beans in. Voila. Here we have cubed and cut potatoes, and I'm just going to throw them into the pot. Voila! Use my spoon here to stir these around. All right, we're just going to let that cook down now. And here I have a bunch of dandelion greens. When we were children, my mother would go pick these wild, but now you can buy them at any grocery store. So what you want to do is get rid of the tougher lower stem of these. So I am literally going to take where it's taped here and cut that off. Just cut the entire bottom part here off. These have already been cleaned, so I'm just putting them on top of my potatoes. Turning my heat up. And there's the stem of the dandelion greens, just for your information. I see I missed some leafy bits here, so I'm just going to put that in. And all you're doing is wilting the dandelion greens on top. You don't need to mix those in. I'm just going to put a lid on. All right, so it's been about 15 minutes. I did check this halfway through, and it was nowhere near done. So we're just going to lift our lid off now. And we're going to just poke the potatoes with a fork here. And I'm poking throughout the pan because I want to make sure they are nice and soft. The fork goes all the way through, very easy. Just stir that around a little bit here. Maybe that. Nope, these are done. So now I'm just going to turn the heat up here a little bit because I want to rapidly get rid of any fluid left in the pan. And now I'm stirring those dandelion greens under as well. So I'm just going to use my fork again here. And I'm going to take a tiny little bit to taste and see if this needs salt. Sometimes the pancetta is salty enough that it flavors the whole dish. Sometimes it does not. Besides the fact that it's really hot, it does need a bit of salt. So I'm just going to sprinkle in a couple of pinches of salt. I always wait till the end so the pancetta, salt from that absorbs into the potatoes, and so I don't over salt it. Now if you want to make this dish completely vegetarian, you can definitely do so. Just don't put the pancetta in, and put a little bit of olive oil in the bottom of the pan first. You can use other greens, but I find that these dandelion greens are the best. I also cook it very often without the dandelion greens and just with the fava beans. You could do it with just potatoes, but not enough flavor. All right, that's it. This is ready. that is thickened up quite nicely now, the starch from the potatoes. Let me just grab a plate here and I'll serve it out. So here I have a ladle, and I'm just going to ladle a little bit into a bowl here for you. And you can serve this with pickled giardiniera, which is usually cauliflower, carrots, peppers. It's very crisp. The pickled vegetables on the side really complement this dish and make it very, very tasty and very, very delicious. I hope you make this dish. Please subscribe, click the like, and let me know what you want me to cook next.